As a result, we were warned that anybody who caught a suspension, even once, for any reason at all, was not going to be allowed to walk the stage during graduation. And I know Pablo Escobar got shot or whatever, but that actually sounds way better than having to tell your Jamaican mother that you can't participate in graduation. I mean, death by firing squad sounds way more pleasant if you ask me. So one morning, during morning devotion, I was chilling at my desk when one of my homies and classmates, Peter, looked over to me and gave me that look. It was that, hey, got any candy look? And of course, by now, everybody knew I was the plug. My gut told me that it was too early to start selling, you know? I mean, if for no other reason than the fact that it's the Lord's time. I mean, we're supposed to be praying to God right now. Here I am slinging illegal candy under his nose. So Peter comes over to my desk, hands me like, I don't know, 25 cents, which probably back then got you about a few Jolly Ranchers, you know, just enough to hold you over till lunchtime. I discreetly pass Peter the candy, and as I'm pulling away my hand, I look up, and who do I see staring me in the soul? The Dean of Discipline. Instantly, my heart drops. I put my hands in my pocket, and I look down at my desk, and I'm just hoping that he did not realize what just occurred. But he was not a fool. All I hear is, Mr. Hines, to the front of the classroom, please. I start walking to the front. Whoa, whoa, Mr. Hines, don't forget your bag. Bring that too. As a matter of fact, here, give it to me. I'll keep it safe. And we walk to his office, and we get to his office. He sits me down, opens the bag, sees the candy. Mr. Hines, are you aware of the consequences of being caught soliciting candy during school hours? Yeah. So then you know you will not be walking the stage with the graduating class? Yeah. And you have nothing to say for yourself? When I don't show up to school next week, ask my mother where my body's buried. Oh. Mr. Hines, you know, I thought you were much smarter than this. I'm also aware that you're an okay student. You don't really get in trouble. So here's what I'm willing to do, Mr. Hines. I will allow you to walk the stage with your classmates. But you are still suspended. You must show up to school tomorrow wearing the black and white. And if you are caught soliciting candy again, I can guarantee that you will not be graduating this year. You understand me? Yes, sir. Good. All right, now go back to your class. Oh, one more thing, Mr. Hines. Thank you for the candy. It will not go to waste. And thus marks the end of my legal candy selling career. Taught me a lot. Had a lot of fun. Made me some money. I'm glad I got to graduate. But you know what? Even if I didn't, I'm glad I did what I did. Because no risks, no reward. And sometimes the greatest reward is finding out that you have the balls to take the risk in the first place. Yeah, that kind of sounded good. We gotta go. Baby, we're wasting our time trying to decide where we should go. Giving me this look that I had never seen before. She leans over, taps my hand, and tells me to lay down and keep her warm. It's about to go down. I reach into my bag, her eyes widen. I open the box I got from CVS and pull out. If you look at just about all the videos on my channel, you'll notice a little similarity. I don't be talking about girls here, and there is a very solid reason why. Simply put, I just never got practice. Prom? I didn't go to that. I was working on a video. Hanging out with friends? I didn't do that. I was working on videos. Girlfriends? I can't even spell that. Basically, I sacrificed my social skills for a bag. I'm definitely better now, but from the time that I started my channel to now, there have been plenty of girls that I've talked to, and I've done some pretty embarrassing things out of sheer inexperience. The story took place last year. I've been doing YouTube consistently for about 11 months. I graduated and I was working full-time. I had maybe 4,000 subscribers. I'm at work doing my thing, and this girl from high school slides in my DMs. Hey! 3 Ys. Okay.
It's been a while since we've talked, but we've never talked. I think you're really cute. We should meet and catch up. Meet and catch up. Meet and catch up. Immediately catch feelings? I started to like her that day because duh, all a girl needed to do to get me to fall in love with her at the time was just to show me a little bit of attention. Disgusting. So a couple of days go by and we texted a lot, like all day. When she'd get lonely, I'd be there for her, and when I'd get lonely, she'd ignore my 7 consecutive texts. Pretty normal for young Johannes. Some more time passes and we plan to meet up one day after I got off work. I tell her that we should go to a park and that I'll bring a canvas to draw her. This is my go-to date. It's cheap, fun, unique, and from personal experience, I can tell you that. I tell her that I get off at noon and say that we should meet up at 1, you know, normal times. And then she suggests 7 p.m. Oh, but if we go to the park at 7, the sun will be down at like 8 and we'll just be alone in the blankets. In the dark. I send something along the lines of that, and then she replies verbatim. That's when all the fun stuff happens. Okay. I read this DM like twice, and I realize where this date is headed. I may do something that at this point I have never done in my life. I realize I'm not prepared at all. I get home, I gather my things, and take a quick trip to CVS. Yup. After going to CVS to pick up a certain item that I needed when the sun sets, we meet up at the park and oh my goodness. She shows up in booty shorts. Booty shorts. You already know what's going to happen when the shorts show the booty. We talk while I draw and actually get a good vibe going. Like we're talking and laughing and laughing and talking and actually genuinely enjoying each other's company. But the sun sets and the real date starts. It gets darker and darker and she gets more playful, and eventually it's really late, like 9 p.m. The street lights are on, the stars are out, you can hear the crickets, the park is empty. It was indeed a fun. I'm drawing her portrait and I feel this very gentle tap on the arm. I look over and there she is, laying down in her back, giving me this look that I had never seen before. She leans over, taps my hand and tells me to lay down and keep her warm. It's about to go down. I reach into my bag, her eyes widen. I open the box I got from CVS and pull out this little booklet that
What it is, guys, it's your boy Blast from State D. Okay, so we are back to finish off 14 scary stories animated. And this is by Llama Arts, and it has been deliciously horrifying, to say the least. Yo, so, if you guys want to watch the original video, because you guys already know we have a bunch of parts out. Links will be in the description down below. Make sure to go there, subscribe to Llama Arts. You know what I mean? He makes great stuff. I'm going to watch more of his cartoons. Let go.
You can see some weird things when you're tired, but the thing about this story is that I wasn't tired. Me and the family were on vacation to some resort in a very rural area of Pennsylvania to make the setting creepier. There weren't many young people there for me and my brothers to hang out with.
That is honestly the worst, I swear to God. Every time when I was a kid, the worst thing is not having kids my own age to play with.
It was like more of an adult resort. But then one day, when I was walking outside of the main lodge of the resort, I, for some reason, looked up to a window on the second floor. I saw a teenage girl looking down at me. From that distance, she looked kind of cute, so I gave her a wave. But she didn't show any sign of reaction. So I just moved on. However, later that same day, I was so bored that I was sitting on a swing set at the little playground of the resort. That's when I saw the same girl again. She was a little ways away from me, down past the playground.
Good Rush. That's immediately what I think anytime I think of a little girl or a girl in general. That movie scared me so bad, I had to stay with a girl that I did not even like that night, who had such a bad personality that I did not even have sex with her, even though she tried. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was also scared of the vagina at the time, but I would have had a better chance of messing with her had her personality not been so terrifying. But yeah, The Grudge.
She was just standing there, staring at me. Being a teenage guy, my hormones controlled my body, and so I got off the swing and began walking over to her.
You got to smash a
As
goat?
I started getting closer to her, I realized she wasn't as cute as I thought she was.
Nigga!
There was something about her face that just gave off a creepy vibe. I can't put my finger on it, but if I had to say, I think it would have to do with her eyes and her mouth. I'd say once I got about halfway over to her, she turned around completely and ran into the woods. And I mean she full on ran into the woods. I stopped in my tracks, completely turned off.
Bruh, why is this one of the most sexually confusing stories I've ever heard in my life?
This girl seemed like a creepy stalker. I didn't see her the rest of our stay at the resort. During the car ride home, miles and miles away from the resort, I was thinking about her. Oh, maybe if I followed her into the woods, I could have gotten laid, even though there was something off about her face. But then,
Not all sex is good sex, and even I'll say that.
what I saw next made me feel like my heart dropped into my stomach. Looking down ahead, I saw the same girl standing by the tree line on the side of the highway. As we sped past her, I saw her head turn so that she was always looking right at me, even through the tinted minivan windows. I asked my parents if they saw her, and they just responded, "Saw who?" Soon afterwards, I accepted that it was all in my head, and that the girl was never even there.
Yeah, even I know not to try to smash everything. You know what I mean? See a girl in the woods, wide eyes, freaky looking mouth, don't have sex with it. It's always, sometimes it's not even a female. You know what I mean? That's happened. I'm gonna edit that out.
From about half a mile away from my old house that I would commonly go fishing in, it was nicknamed Daryl's Pond. I still have no idea who Daryl was or why it was called that, but nobody owned it, so people would once in a blue moon go fishing there as well. It was usually me by myself though. I had dug a pole into the ground where I would tie a noose to and from my small kayak. I'd say it was about 3 in the afternoon when I rode out to the middle of the pond, the sweet spot for getting a decent catch. There was another person coming out from the trees. I waved at him and gave him a smile. He hopped into a small boat floating by the edge of the pond and began to row over to me. As we got close enough where trying to speak to him wouldn't come off as obnoxious, I gave him a friendly, "Good day, isn't it?" "Yes, absolutely," he said. He didn't say anything after that, and it started to feel a bit awkward, as if I were obligated to keep some kind of conversation rolling now. "So, you come out here to throw some lines?" I asked. "No, I didn't actually fish." "Oh, well, it's never a bad day to relax on the pond," I said. He continued to row closer to me until his boat collided with mine, creating a big thud. I was genuinely uncomfortable now. I didn't feel threatened, just weirded out. I was only 24 years old. This guy looked like he was late 40s or 50s. There was an awkward silence. I tried to just act like I was focused on trying to make a catch, but by now that wasn't even on my mind. This guy was weird. I didn't know what he wanted, and I was uncomfortable being so close to him. I felt him looking at me, or at least in my direction, as I faced halfway to the opposite direction of him. I took a quick glance to my right. Yeah, he was staring at me. I decided to be ballsy and lock eye contact with him.
He came there looking for booty. Please, Jonathan, I'm sorry.
After about 4 seconds, he looked away. "So, where are you from?" I asked him. "Up there." He pointed behind himself, in the direction of the woodsy hill leading past the dirt road. "Oh, you live by Suffolk?" I asked. No, I'm not," he said. "What made you decide to come out here?" I said. "Why not?" I continued to try and uncomfortably fill the awkward silences that kept coming up. His responses were dry. He didn't contribute anything to what was barely a conversation. He just sat there not doing anything, with half a smile on his face, looking either at me or in my general direction throughout. I was creeped out. My heart was racing at this point. I'd go as far as saying that I was nervous for my life. We were surrounded by trees in all directions, in the middle of a pond. I started to row a bit closer to land, but in a very low-key kind of way, trying to play it off as me just trying to find a better spot to find some fish. I was horrified when I saw he was following me. What a great day, huh? I felt a shake in my voice. I got close enough to the edge of the pond where I finally told the man, I think I'm going to call it a day. I turned to see his reaction. He was still staring at me, but his smile was gone now. I can't let you leave, he said. He lifted his flannel to expose a handgun sticking out of his jeans pocket.
No. Okay, shit just got real. Run.
That's
Run.
right,
Run for your life. He's still on the boat. Run.
As soon as I could process what I was looking at, every door and window as soon as I made it home.
No.
I pulled down the blinds to the
No.
dining room window,
No.
leaving it open just a crack for peeking outside undetected. It started to get dark out, and I left every light in the house off.
No. Why would you run back to your house? He
That's
knows where
stupid
you
now.
live now.
Yep.
Shit.
Still peeking out to the
That's
front
fucking
yard,
stupid.
making sure I wasn't followed. The time came when I finally decided I wasn't followed. I realize now, like you, that not calling the police immediately was a huge mistake. I kept my bedroom windows open to let the room air out. My bedroom was on the second floor, so I wasn't worried about being watched through the window.
I don't need to
shut
call
the light
the
and
cops.
crawl under the covers. I heard the sound of leaves
I
crunching
brought
from
my
outside.
boys.
I sat up to hear it more clearly. There was definitely something walking around out there. Normally I would assume it was a deer or
Please no jump scare. Please no jump scare.
a bear. But after what just
Caught my
happened,
boys instead of the
I was
fucking
still in
pigs.
paranoia mode. I sat up as still as a statue, except for my shaking out of fear, waiting as the sound of the steps stopped.
It's time.
Hey buddy, you up there? Are you trying to sleep? Sorry, didn't mean to wake you. I felt like 100 pounds just fell directly onto my chest. It was the same voice. I knew it right away.
Messenger.
I didn't make a sound. I crept out of the room, quietly downstairs from the kitchen, and grabbed the phone, practically crawling on my way out to avoid being seen through the open blinds. I called 911 like I should have earlier, in the temporary safety of my bedroom. I made sure to whisper into the phone, as I was still hoping that he hadn't yet heard or spotted me. 20 minutes felt like an hour as I sat behind my bed, waiting for the police to arrive in constant fear that I would hear glass breaking from downstairs, or a thud on the back door, or even just a voice again from down below my window outside. The police did a thorough investigation of the property in nearby woods, turning up nothing. They suggested I stay with a friend or a family member for a few days, and so I did. I never heard from or saw the man again, but I still moved a month later. I couldn't deal with the constant fear and paranoia of being watched through my windows. I feel much more comfortable fishing out by the bay now.
Huh.
Really?
Pussy.
Really, Llama Arts? Really?
Huh.
The last thing I saw was my alarm clock flashing 12:07 before she pushed her long, rotting nails through my chest, her other hand muffling my screams. I sat bolt upright, believed it was only a dream, but as I saw my alarm clock read 12:06, I heard my closet door creak open.
What the hell?
Growing up with cats and dogs, I got used to the sound of scratching at my door while I slept. Now that I live alone, it's much more unsettling.
No. Why is this Christmas themed? This is scary.
I begin tucking him into bed and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed." I always thought my cat had a staring problem. She always seemed fixated on my face. "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed." I always thought my cat had a staring problem. She always seemed fixated on my face, until one day when I realized that she was always looking just behind me.
And that is your idea of a Christmas gift?
Mm.
No, thank you. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. The original video is in the link in the description down below. Make sure to go subscribe to Llama Arts. He makes great videos. It's your boy Blasphemous HD. And Merry Christmas, unfortunately.
Trying out another one?
No, it's the same one. We've got it for 3 months.
We've made changes for those who want a great deal on Binge. Get Binge for 3 months with Telstra.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video, man, because Lord knows. What's that? I was blinking. Oh, get out of here. One-month working period. Oh, really? One of the top secret. Ah!
They've got some work for you. Do me a favor and step out of your cell. Just follow me. Oh, and by the way, we're authorized to exterminate any visiting test subjects, so I'd recommend not doing that.
Attention, please. Sergeant Valdez. Please report to Gate A for personnel control.
So you've seen any good movies lately? Yeah? What kind of ones? Horror, science fiction, anything like that. Okay. What? Your whole job revolves around horror and science fiction. Except, you know, it's not actually fiction. Well, actually, thanks for this. Yeah, no offense, but I've already lost my mind.
Feel free to participate in any questions that you have on Sunday.
Well, we're here. Just get in there and follow all the instructions, and you'll probably be fine. Oh, and by the way,
No! Origin is yet unknown as constructed from concrete pillar.
Attention all Class D personnel. Please enter the containment chamber.
Nope. No. I'm not doing this. No.
Subject D9341. Enter the containment chamber or you will be terminated.
What type of job is this?
Please approach SCP-173 for testing.
No.
There seems to be a problem with the door control system. The
think you could just walk out of here without
Contact with SCP-173 and...
Wait, what the fuck?
Pussy.
I love how the difficulty is safe.
You don't step out of the cell. I'll just follow me. Oh, and by the way, we're authorized to kill any disobedient test subjects, so don't try anything stupid.
Attention. Site Director Rosewood. Please report to Administration's Complex.
You don't have a girlfriend, do you? Well, I definitely have mine later. Otherwise, I'd be locked up in this place. So, yeah, I'd say it's pretty damn obvious. I thought you work at some coffee shop or something. I don't know. Just tell her it's ketchup. Well, anyway, let's tell this one more time. They're waiting for me down at the chamber. Oh, and by the way,
Alright, well, you know, good looking out. Not really helpful. Alrighty then, guys. We're apparently in prison.
All Class D personnel, please enter the containment chamber.
Nah, bro, there's blood in there. I'm not going in. I'm not doing it. Hey, I want to see my lawyer.
Sail upon the stream to find this somebody better. And far and wide.
Northern Boom Car appeared from up here.
I'm not going in there. I want to see my lawyer.
Subject D9341, enter the containment chamber or you will be terminated.
I dare you. Huh? I got rights.
Last warning. You have 5 seconds to comply.
Right.
Please approach SCP-173 for testing. There seems to be a problem with the door control system. The door isn't responding to any of our attempts to close it. So please maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 and...
They've got some work for you. Do me a favor and just follow me. Oh, and by the way, we're authorized to exterminate any disobedient test subjects, so I'd recommend not doing it.
Attention. Dr. Kondrowski. Report to Office Complex.
Dr. Kondrowski? Really?
So is he with these lately? I don't know. Oh, okay. What about you? That reminds me, somebody should make a video. I don't think well, we're here. Still disappointed I didn't get to punch you, but whatever. Oh, and by the way,
Attention all Class D personnel. Please enter the containment chamber. Please approach SCP-173 for testing. There seems to be a problem with the door control system. The door isn't responding to any of our attempts to close it. So please maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 and...
and by the way, we're authorized to exterminate any disobedient citizens. So I'd recommend not doing anything stupid.
Attention. Sergeant Valveson. Report to firing range. Foxtrot.
You don't have a girlfriend, do you? Why would I have ketchup on my hands if I wasn't a cop?
Feel tired and overworked. Firstly, coffee is serving the cafeteria at all hours.
Well, we're here. Just get in there and follow all the instructions, and you'll probably be fine.
I can't even seem to get past this first part.
Attention all Class D personnel. Please enter the containment chamber.
I got this.
Please approach SCP-173 for testing.
Yes.
There seems to be a problem with the door control system. The door isn't responding to any of our attempts to close it. So please maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 and...
You're telling me. Shit.
They've got some work for you. Do me a favor and step out of yourself. Just follow me. Oh, and by the way, we're authorized to kill any disobedient test subject.
Alright, well, I'm bored anyway, so I'm just gonna run ahead.
Maintenance.
What the hell? Hey!
Alpha.
Wait!
Report.
Hey!
Elevator. 6A4. Safety. Inspection.
I'm gonna go figure out how to get past this first, monster. Did you guys get what you wanted? You dying in a pit of fear? You know what?
Guys, listen up. It's been 3 rounds, so we... Are you sure? I don't think so.
Pussy.
What are these guys? Full Blasphemous HD. Okay, so look, you can't. If there's anything y'all been asking me for, y'all been asking me for more scary videos, okay? Now, at first I was like, hell no. But now I'm like, you know what? Only one. If y'all want another one, y'all gotta share this mug on Facebook. So, Try not to get scared challenge number 1. All that I ask is that if I run, don't tell people I ran.
This is allegedly a video found on the deep web, in which a man sitting on a chair has his head covered by.
Watch what happens.
I'm getting water.
You'll catch 2 of them right across your lip.
What are you
As soon as the one, she keep doing. Yo, what? Man.
Scary.
Man.
I'm getting water.
You know I got man. Keep it up. I stabbed you with the sharp end of a basketball. Now think about that.
Cloth and body covered by a plastic bag. He makes some strange movements, and after a while, he suddenly covers his face with what viewers believe could be either vomit or feces. Either way, it doesn't look very pleasant. Take a look.
Bruh, what are you doing? Oh, it's doo-doo, baby. Oh, it means doo-doo. It's doo-doo. Oh, bruh. Why is he putting it back in? Is he doing this on purpose?
Finally, he puts up a sign upside down that says, "What are you thinking?" Whereafter he looks to his right in an almost frightened way.
What am I thinking? I'm glad you're not at my house. That's what I'm thinking.
Is this someone being held hostage, or is it some sort of a surreal, odd, strange-looking fake?
Homie got problems, that is.
Can be seen.
I probably should have watched the introduction to this one, because...
No information can be found about this.
Okay, that's a little scarier. Yep.
Video, so for now it remains a mystery. Lately I've received lots of comments of people saying they appreciate that I try to find more unknown videos for my corner camera videos. Well, once in a while I do like to bring on an old classic that has never made an appearance on my channel before. I'm sure many of you have already seen.
Oh, also, if you guys want to watch the original video, the link is in the description down below.
That's how far away from spawn it is. I'll give you a hint. It's not 100,000 blocks. It's not 50,000 blocks. It's not even 10,000 blocks. It's not even 5,000 blocks. The answer, almost 4,000 blocks away from 00. For half a decade, this bed has been untouched. But as of this week, the slow creep of destruction away from 00 has finally gotten too close for comfort. It's no longer safe for me to keep it here, so I'm moving it. But the question is, how was I able to keep my spawn point this close to 00 and stay undetected for so long? On a server with no rules that is patrolled by hackers around the clock, how did the bed not get discovered? Well, in my over 7 years of playing 2B2T, I've learned plenty of creative ways to hide in plain sight. So the real purpose of this video today is to teach you how to remain completely undetected and stay out of sight, not just on 2B2T, but other Anarchy servers as well. From keeping your bed safe, to traveling through common places without being spotted,
to stashing valuables where even hackers wouldn't bother to look. The methods I teach you today will not only keep you safe, but your items as well. Once I explain all these things to you, then I'll reveal how my bed managed to survive. Even if you don't play on Anarchy servers, today's video will definitely teach you a thing or two. There's a lot to discuss, so let's get started. First, we're going to cover how to keep your spawn point safe. The most common mistake I see people make is putting their main bed inside their actual base. Don't do this. This is way too obvious. If a griefer comes along, it can easily be destroyed or worse, lava trapped. Regardless, an unexpected trip back to spawn with no items is not a fun experience. Instead, put a decoy bed in your base, but put your actual bed in a natural cave a few hundred blocks away. The deeper the cave goes towards bedrock, the easier it is to remain undetected. Hostile mobs don't spawn as often on Anarchy servers, so dark caves are actually quite safe. Try to tamper with blocks as little as possible. You don't want to draw any attention to the cave or give people a reason to suspect you may be living there. So now that you know how to respawn safely, what about having access to your valuables? If you put chests or other containers close to your bed, it could compromise your location, ruining the entire purpose of hiding your respawn point. This brings us to our next topic, hiding items safely. People incorrectly assume that building a bunker underground is all it takes to stay safe. Unfortunately, this doesn't work. Hackers often use a combination of ESP and tracer hacks to find containers hidden underground. In fact, it's one of the easiest ways that I find hidden bases whenever I go looking on my Sunday morning live streams. Seeing the purple glow of an e-chest or the red glow of a shulker make it painfully obvious there's been player activity. But having these hacks enabled means that even naturally generated containers such as dungeon chests, village furnaces, and minecarts will still show up. The majority of base hunters and griefers will never bother to check these naturally generated chests, especially if there are no signs of tampering such as mine blocks or a broken spawner. I actually was taught this method by one of my old base mates, Silver Crown King. Many years ago, he brought me to one of his stashes that contained Steve heads, which at the time were incredibly rare. But the stash ended up being inside a mine shaft that had generated under an ocean. The valuables were hidden inside the chests with no signs of tampering. No tunnels, no extra torches, no broken blocks. Mineshaft chests usually are pretty underwhelming, so someone passing over it would have no reason to go down and check. Utilizing these natural containers makes it far easier to hide items. If a natural chest is close to your hidden bed, you can hide an e-chest in it so you can have access to your valuables in case of an unexpected death. Just remember to leave no trace. Now, in more populated areas, especially near spawn, I've seen players use item frames hidden underneath lava lakes near bedrock to hide precious items as well. This is a pretty solid method, but it assumes the hacker is not using X-ray and is only relying on ESP and tracers. I don't use this method that often, but you may find some success with it. So now that we've covered keeping your bed and your valuables hidden, there's one more skill I need to teach you before we talk about my bed. It involves staying hidden while traveling and utilizing off hours. It's no secret that the nether highways are the easiest way to travel, but also one of the most dangerous places to encounter other players. When I travel on my main account, I tend to avoid highways at all costs, but sometimes I have no choice but to travel them. What a lot of players don't realize is that there are tunnels off to the side that run parallel to the highways and are usually only 100 to 500 blocks away, far enough to avoid being in the render distance of hunters, but close enough where you won't be wasting time getting to them. Using speed or elytra hacks in a narrow hallway is a lot harder, but it's still doable if you're patient. If you know you'll be heading into a high traffic area, it also helps to do it during off hours or when the server is less busy. There's a reason that 5 in the morning is my favorite time to play.
using side highways during off hours will eliminate the majority of player run-ins you might have. So now, the question is, how did this bed survive for 5 years in what is essentially spawn territory? Well, it's a combination of all the things that I just taught you. Back in 2015, I wanted to set my bed in a place that would be close to spawn for travel purposes, but be just far enough away where I didn't have to worry about unexpected visitors. I placed my bed in a natural cave that was connected to a mining tunnel of an already griefed base. I put the bed next to a lava pool, making it harder to stand out when using X-ray. The mining tunnel had some old furnaces nearby, so I would hide an ender chest inside the furnace. In case of a death, I would pull out the E-chest, take what I needed, and then put it back inside. Since the bed was still very close to spawn, I would try to only be there during the off hours of the server, making it less likely that I would be spotted from above ground. Using a combination of all of these things, I've kept my spawn this secret for 5 years. But as I mentioned, it's time for me to finally move on. So where am I going to put my bed next? Well, obviously, I'm not going to tell you that. I guess you'll have to wait and see. But anyway, if you found today's video informative, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. But that's it for today, everyone. Take it easy and stay alive out there, Fit Fam.